Obviously, big weekend last weekend with the federal election, and I actually did want to. Obviously, it was a change election, although a change election that was rather different, I think, compared to some of the old ones in the past. The I did want to start with the polls because there was such a big deal made in 2019 that the pollsters got it wrong. They seem to have gotten a little bit more right. I'm just having a look at the ABC sort of latest results page, and it seems like that it was at 51.6 to 48.4, two-party preferred, and I believe News Poll was 53.47. I guess that's within the margin of error, roughly. Certainly, a lot better result than 2019 would suggest. Although, in digging into the numbers, it would seem that they still missed the I don't know, what would you call it? The voter that falls out of their usual sample. Like, why was there so many votes for independents or minor parties? Like, it was a huge vote this time for that, which is represented with the amount of seats in the House of Reps that are dedicated to, candidates that are not part of the major parties.
Absolutely, and I think that really the big surprise were the teal independents, and there's been a lot written on that, which I think people can research themselves. But they're primarily they had their three issues, and they resonated, and there were three issues that I think the incumbent government weren't willing to address, and I think you saw those swings in seats that were traditionally, I guess, liberal seats. So I think that's going to change the face of politics moving forward. I think issues now are changing away from the traditional, maybe purely economic or purely best leadership to people that will take action on issues and predominantly social issues too.
And I guess only time will tell, I guess maybe over the course of the next election or two or three, as to whether or not this is a permanent change to the political landscape in Australia. We've historically had just the two major parties and, they'd seesaw between each other. But this election yielded a result which was probably, well, obviously it's nowhere near the same, but it's kind of along the same lines as what you might have expected in a European parliament, where there's a little bit more diversity going on in terms of representation. And it may be that that's where Australia's going. I mean, it's a generational change. You'd expect at some point, newer generations were going to influence that sort of outcome, and maybe maybe this is the beginning and the end of two-party, major two-party dominance.
Well, if it leads to a more diverse parliament, it's probably a good thing. So I'm not sure how it will play out, because really a lot of the policies are very similar between, a number of those parties, but we'll see how that plays out.